Hello and welcome to our podcast. So today we'll be talking about the Lions team and their chance at being in the playoffs in 32 years. So Ryder, how big of a chance do you think that the Lions team has in general?
Well, I think the Lions might have a 15% chance at making it to the Super Bowl. But if they do, I think they might fall short to the Baltimore Ravens.
Ryder, do you think the Lions team can make it to the Super Bowl with their current roster?
With the conditions they are in, they probably won't make it to the Super Bowl because of Sam Laporta's knee injury. They probably won't make it to the next round of the playoff game. Also, Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield are a great duo. We might have a 30% chance in the second round of the playoffs because they are a great duo.
That may be true, but they were doubted through the normal season, but made it to and won the wildcard game. But they did have Sam Laporta at that point. Do you think that not having Sam Laporta will play a role in their victory or defeat?
I think it might play a key factor on whether they make it to the playoffs or not. But they also have other players like Jahmyr Gibbs that can get them somewhere in the playoffs.
You could be right, but there is always that chance that they get hurt. So they might not use their important players first. Do you think that the Lions will win if they lose any more better players?
If they lose any more better players, they probably won't win. If they do win, I think they might lose in the next round of the playoffs.
So if the Lions lose, who do you think will take their place in the playoffs?
I think that the Bucs will take their place in the playoffs because if the Lions lose, they are playing them next. So if the Lions lose to the Bucs will take their spot in the Final Four.
I think you're right. If they do lose any more players, they might not make it any further than they already are. They already have 8 injured players, which means they're close to having to forfeit. You have to have at least 11 players in order to be eligible to compete.
Knowing that Baker Mayfield has ribs and ankle injuries, he is going to be questionable if he can play the Lions. But if he can play the Lions, they could either win or lose.
So, what you're saying is the Lions might have a chance after all.
Yes, I think they might have a chance, but it will be a close game, and even if they do win, they might lose in the next round to San Francisco.
They are a really good team, but they have 13 injured people. Do you think that with all of the 49ers injuries, the Lions will win against them?
I don't know. They still have a couple better people, and it all comes down to who performs the best.
I agree with you because it's not always about how good a player is. It comes down to how hard they play. But if they do win against both teams, who do you think that they will play next in the Super Bowl?
I think that they might play the Ravens in the Super Bowl, but the Ravens are a super good team, so I don't think that they will beat the Ravens if they win the Super Bowl.
Hey Ryder, did you know that the Ravens have only won 2 Super Bowls, but the Lions have never won a Super Bowl? Do you still believe that the Lions will pull it off and win the Super Bowl, or for the first time, or do you think that they will get eliminated before they make it to the Super Bowl?
I believe that they could potentially win the Super Bowl.
Another fun fact is that the Lions have played their first game in 1930, July 12th, and their best season was 1953, and their record was 10-2, or 10 wins and 2 losses.
That's a cool fact. Thank you, Tristan.
Back to the team. So what do you think that the coach feels heading into the game on Sunday?
I think he feels excited and scared because this is the farthest they've gotten in 32 years.
I think you'd be crazy not to be a little scared or have pregame jitters, but do you think the jitters and nerves affect how they play?
I think probably not because since they're a confident team, they are on their good side and probably will have and have won a few games this season. Also, they haven't had the best, and I think since they are doing better, I think that they might be affected by the pregame nerves or anything nerves or any other nerves.
So now that we've seen them play the Bucks and won, they only have 2 games including the Super Bowl. So do you think that they can make it to the Super Bowl?
It all comes down to the 49ers because they have an awesome team all together, but if we do win, they will probably lose to the Ravens or the Chiefs in the Super Bowl because they both have great teams, including their offense and defense. But the Lions have a good run game.
So do you think that it was just good luck that got them here to the playoffs?
No, I think they've been improving over the last 32 years since they won their last playoff game 32 years ago.
I do think that they've gotten better, but what if what they have isn't enough to take the Ravens or the Chiefs? Because the Ravens have 23 players out and the Chiefs have 17 players out. Do you think that with all the players out, they will beat the Chiefs or even the Ravens?
Yes, it really depends how well they play because if they're having a good run game, it also depends on how the other team is playing. So when the other team are playing the Lions, they could play better so they know like what they are doing in the playoffs so far.
I agree, but if they don't win, they still have done pretty good. Really good, don't you think so?
Yes, it really depends on how well they play because if they are having a good run game, it also depends on how the other team is playing. So when the other teams play, the Lions could get better because of how well they are doing in the playoffs so far.
I agree, but what if they don't win? They still have done really good so far, don't you think so?
What is the chance of the Lions beating the San Francisco 49ers?
I think it's a small chance of winning.
Also, with George Kittle and CMC being injured, the Lions might have a chance at beating the Niners.
With Kittle out, they might have a bit of a bigger chance, but they still have better players and they're a better team.
Hey Tristan, did you know that Joe Montana is a Hall of Fame quarterback? He was a quarterback for the 49ers in the 90s.
I didn't know that. Thanks for the information. Just keep it. Do you think that now, since they are one game away from the Super Bowl, do you think that they can get the Super Bowl or even get 2 or even win the Super Bowl?
I think they could probably get to the Super Bowl. Do you think the Ravens will win in the Super Bowl, though?
I think with a bit of luck, the Lions will win because they so far have been really good and didn't come this far to lose. So I think that they will put lots of hard work and training into getting to the game and even winning it.
Why do you think it has to be with luck? Can't they do it with luck, but training and hard work?
I do think that would work, but the Ravens are a super good team, and it's going to take more time than what they have. So that is why I said with luck and not training, because they would need a lot more training and time than what they have.
Okay, but the Ravens are missing a couple of players.
Yeah, but it's going to take more than a couple players for the Lions to win.
So knowing that we have talked about the team, let's talk about the halftime show.
Last year was a waste of time and money. Let's hope this year is better. So what do you think that they will do this year for the halftime show?
I know they are doing Usher.
What do you think they will be singing?
I don't know, but I do know that the company Coca-Cola is sponsoring it, even though Pepsi is way better.
Also, do you think that the halftime shows were better when Pepsi was making it, the halftime shows?
I do, because they have better shows and they put more effort into putting them into the place so everyone could enjoy them without any worrying about so all they had to do was sit back and watch until the game started again.
I agree, but do you think the game... I agree, but back to the game. Did you know that the Ravens' first game was 1996, September 1st? Their first name was the Baltimore Browns. Also, their very first coach was Ted Broda.
I didn't know that. That's a cool fact. Now, who was the Lions' first coach?
I don't know, but I know that their best coach was Patsy Clark.
Neat. Do you know the Lions' original name was, and what the original name was, and how they came up with the name the Lions?
Portsmouth Spartans, and how they came up with the name, I don't know for either of them.
Well, did you just give them new and good information to the two, so thanks.
You're welcome. And hey, Ryder, what's your favorite number on the Lions team?
Probably 20 for Barry Sanders, even though he doesn't play anymore.
Why is it Barry Sanders?
Because he's one of the best running backs in NFL history.
Yeah, but they're better players and more relevant.
Well, yeah, that is true, but no one is ever going to be like Barry Sanders.
Why do you say no one will ever be like Barry Sanders? I'm sure there could be a couple people like Barry Sanders.
Well, there could be a couple people like Barry Sanders, like Walter Payton, but any other than them, I don't think anyone could be as good as him.
True, but who's your favorite quarterback?
It would have to be Dan Marino.
Why Dan Marino?
Because he is a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Neat. Who's your favorite Ravens player?
My favorite Ravens player has to be Ray Lewis.
Why Ray?
Why Ray? Because he was one of the best middle linebackers in NFL history.
Yeah, but there's better. There could be better. And, I mean, come on. There's better names than Ray.
Oh, no, not really.
Yeah, but also there are better players. Don't you think?
No.
Oh, okay. Then, who's your favorite Chiefs player?
Chiefs player has to be, that's a tough one. I don't really watch the Chiefs. But other than that, guys, goodbye.
That's all for today. Thanks for watching. This has been episode 1. Goodbye. Have a nice day. And see you the next time.